Hey everybody, it's Alison Heikkila. Thank you so much for joining me for the June installment of Card Hoppin'. Every month the Card Hoppin' group gets together and we all work within a single theme, and then within that theme we have to choose one of two techniques to work with. And every month it's different and it's always a lot of fun. So I hope that you will hop along. You can use the links that are in my description box, or you can search for Card Hoppin' June 2023. That's a hashtag. So hashtag Card Hoppin' June 2023. So this month's theme is Greek, and the technique needs to be either kaleidoscope or stained glass. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of both. And for my theme itself, again, it's Greek, I decided to go with astronomy. The ancient Greeks were a huge part of helping the world move forward with astronomy and astrology, and they were big into math. And there's a whole lot of things that you can learn about that if you Google it, but that's kind of where I decided to go with my card for today. So we are going to use this very, very cool and kind of intricate stamp from All in Create. It's called Celestial Navigation, which again is something that the ancient Greeks were really into. They were into mapping the stars and whatnot, the heavenly bodies that they were able to see. Excuse the bit of teal on my hands. I just dyed my daughter's hair. This is the color, and it's actually not that bad, but my nail is pretty obvious. Anyway, let's get started. We're going to take this baby out, and I am going to stamp this on some vellum, which I pre-cut to fit on my card. Oh, I don't need this. I'm grabbing the wrong tool, you guys. I'm going to grab my Misty, because again, this is a pretty intricate stamp and I want to make sure that I really get a good impression, and the best way to do that is to use some type of stamping platform. Kind of go back and forth between using my Misty and my Tim Holtz platform. I use them both. Okay, so we're going to put the vellum here. I'm going to just stick this corner here for now. I might not leave it there. This is a big stamp. It's going to cover pretty much the whole card front, which is fine with me. Do I want it this way? Which way do I want it, guys? I want it this way. Not that it really matters, because I can always flip it later. Okay, we're going to line this up just like that. Make sure that looks good. I think so. All right. Now I'm going to stick my bar magnet down here because I have a little bit of wiggle room on the side there. I can move it in a little bit more. We want to make sure that this vellum is really going to stay put. I think that's okay. All right, I've used this a couple of times. In fact, my son just used this stamp for my husband's Father's Day card. So I've got some VersaMark ink here, and I'm going to ink this up. So you might see a little bit of green on my stamp. That's because he used some green VersaFine Clair. I forget which shade it is, but he used some on the stamp, and I didn't clean it super great. So we're going to emboss this. Let's see how this looks. I'm sure you're not really going to be able to see it too well on camera. Oh, you can see a little flash here and there. I think it actually looks pretty good. I don't even really want to take a chance and try stamping it again. I think it looks okay. So I'm going to just clean off my stamp. Okay, that's all cleaned off, and now I'm just taking some Detail Black Embossing Powder. This is from Stampendous, but you can use whatever kind you have at home, if you have any. You don't have to use black, but I decided that black would be a good option because, again, one of the techniques is stained glass. One of the prompted techniques is stained glass, and usually you've got that nice darkened metal. Just cleaning that up. Okay, now we're going to do some heat setting. This is one of my favorite things. I'm going to turn on my heat tool, and we're going to let it get nice and hot. And this tends to melt very quickly on vellum. We don't want to keep it on here too long because we don't want our vellum to curl. All right, that looks pretty good. I like it. So what I did off camera is I cut 3 frames using this die set from Elizabeth Craft Designs. I do not believe that this die set is still available, but any die set that has multiple rectangles in it should be able to work for you. This one has the largest edge is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it's exactly the size of a card front, and then this goes down like 1/4 of an inch. So we're going to do this, and see, it hides all of this area that doesn't have any image. Look at that, that looks cool already. But we're going to step this up, because what do you think of when you think of like kaleidoscope and stained glass? Color, right? So I'm going to bring my scrap paper back here, and on the back of this vellum I'm going to use some Copic markers to give it some color. Now if you don't have Copics or some other type of marker that will work on vellum, that's okay. You could just take a piece of cardstock, Bristol, mixed media, whatever cardstock you like to ink blend on, and ink blend on that, and then put this on top, and that color will still show through because it's vellum. But I wanted to use my Copics, so I thought that I would just start in one area. I really like this large spiral that's happening here. It starts out here and it just expands through most of it. So I thought that I would start with my red there. I don't know, we're gonna just play around with it and see what happens. And if it's no good, we do something else. And I don't really need to be super neat with this, but I also don't want to be sloppy. Look at how cool that is already. So I'm going to take my orange next. So this color is R29. This is like my favorite red. I'm going to grab YR07, and we're going to just blend those together like so. That's cool. I like that. I think that I'm going to extend this orange here because I think that I want my moon to have the yellow. I don't know. I wasn't thinking too hard about it before, and I don't really want to think too hard about it now. I just want to kind of enjoy the process. Now I have Y15. Let me zoom in for you. There we go. Or do I leave the moon without color? Huh. Maybe we'll do that. Let's do that instead. I'm going to leave the moon without color, so I'm going to continue with the orange. And just bring it around. Now this part won't show, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And now I'm going to go in with that Y15. And we can blend it if we want to. We don't need to go crazy. Seems like this baby needs a refill. It's not as dark as I would have liked, but that's okay. We can always add some color to it. Let's add a little bit more. What do we got here? Here's some Y17. That's better. See how that darkened it up? So that was Y17. And then I have G07. We'll do this next piece here. Let's go over here. And then we're going to go in with some B18. You know what? This should be orange too. There we go. And we'll add a little bit of the green in here. There's no line defining it, but I think it'll look better if it's there. Okay, and then we have, do I want a little bit more blue? No, we're going to start with the purple. No, we're going to do some more blue. Why not, right? Sometimes you just have to go back and forth with your ideas for a minute until you figure out what it is exactly that you want to do. So now I have V09, and we're going to put that up here. See, this is super, super fast coloring. You do not need to be perfect with it. It's just going to look cool when we're done. At least I hope it will. We'll see. So I'm kind of doing like both the stained glass and kaleidoscope. Because you think of a kaleidoscope, you think of like a rainbow of color, right? It's kind of cool. Let's look at it with this. I kind of like that. We need to extend that blue a bit. I did it on the wrong side, you guys. It doesn't really matter, but you don't want to use Copics on top of the embossing powder. I didn't really touch any embossing powder, so it was okay. But you don't really want to color on top of them because it'll mess up the powder, and then the powder will get on the tip of your marker and it'll mess that up. But we're okay. I didn't mess up too badly. I didn't really touch any powder. All right, how's that looking? We're gonna finish with the purple up here. Cool. I think we need another color though. Let me pick out another color. Okay, I have RV69. That's pretty. This is a nice color. I like this one. All right. So what do you think of this effect? I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not even sure if I want to add more color than this. I might just leave it as is. And then we're going to extend this over here like so. And we have to grab up here. There. All right, flipping it over again. I think that's pretty cool. I feel like it needs some blue, maybe some light blue. That's what I'm thinking. And I also think that we need that RV69 over here. There we go. I'm going to grab a blue. I actually grabbed BG23. What do we think? It's a little pale. I don't mind it. I'm gonna color the rest of this up and then I'll come back to you. Okay, I added a few more colors. You can see that I finished up with the BG 23 around the edges here, and then I went in with YR23. I did that here and here. Then I used some BG01, which is super soft, but I used it here and around here where the clock face is. And then some Y35 here and a little here, and that's it. So now what I'd like to do is I'm going to attach it to my frame. So we're just going to do that with some Barely Arts glue, and then we're going to see what we're going to do with the card base. I might just leave it. I was also thinking about making it a shaker, but I kind of feel like there's enough happening where it doesn't need to be a shaker. The reason I made this frame is because since I'm working on vellum, I don't want my adhesive to show. So if I attach it here like this and then use this area to attach it to my card base, then you won't see the adhesive anywhere. All right, I'm gonna let this dry and then we'll attach it to the card. All right, this is looking pretty good, and I have decided that I'm not going to do anything else to this card. This is super quick. And you could change out the colors however you like. And like I said, if you don't have markers that work on vellum, you can just ink blend like right on your card base and just attach this on top. And then it'll still look really cool. Just a different effect. That is looking pretty sweet. All right, so this is what the card looks like. I hope that you will check out the rest of the hoppers. Again, search for the hashtag CardHoppinJune 2023, or you can look at my description box and get the links to all of the participants, and then maybe you can join us next month. That's it for me today. I will be back very soon with another video. Thank you so much for hanging out. I will be seeing you very soon. Be well, stay safe, peace out.